What's up, people? This is Steve J, coming to you from News Life and Beyond. Catch us for real life discussions with real people.
News Life and Beyond. Real life, real people, real discussions. Different people saying something. Everybody got a story to tell. So tell Steve J and Adam A. You tell.
And you caused the frustration. What else does he need? I couldn't get a straight answer from that.
Is there any
Go
ahead, sorry.
I also asked them what de-escalation strategies are in place, because it doesn't sound like any de-escalation strategies were used. It just sounds like the teachers are annoyed and saying whatever they want to him, and not they're frustrated themselves, and it's showing. So they're not regulated in order to try to regulate my child. But I said, what de-escalation strategies do you have in place before you decide that physically restraining is the only option you have? And I couldn't get a straight answer on that. They just kept going in circles, and then, telling me it's basically like a case by case situation. Like, every kid is different. What works for this kid might not work for this kid. So I said, okay, but everybody has a generalized plan of what you would do if a kid is, acting crazy, and you have to try to de-escalate before you physically restrain. And, he was like, I'm trying to answer the question, but you're not. I said, you're not trying to answer the question. You're just giving me a runaround answer. You're telling me about future things that could be happening or plans that could be made, but you're not telling me what your actual plan is to try to calm a child down before physically holding him down.
Yeah.
They couldn't give me an answer. And then he told me that, it is a case by case. Basically it should be on a child's IEP. So if my child has already got put into 3 physical restraints in just the month of September at the beginning of the school year, why wasn't it implemented into his IEP? Why wasn't it implemented in his IEP this go around when we just had his IEP meeting, for some type of de-escalation plan, since he's already had a history of, being physically restrained?
Yeah.
I don't have answers.
Is there any programs that you can have come into the house, to teach him? That way you didn't have to send them back to school.
But that's the thing. He doesn't need them. Yeah, he doesn't need them. Preschool, okay. It's not the preschool program. They don't really do anything in that room. If you actually listen to them during the day, there's no activities going on. The teachers are not telling kids to do activities, sing songs, let's do ABC, count our 1, 2, 3s, we're gonna color. You hear nothing. You hear the kids that are just babbling in the background and stimming, that are screaming or whatever, and then the teachers talking to the teachers. You really don't hear any interacting going on, or any direction, hey, we're gonna do this, let's do this, I need you to come over here and do this, we're gonna sit and color, we're gonna, there's nothing going on during the day. You just hear music. Wow. Music. You hear music and the kids singing, but there's no actual activities or nothing going on during the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nobody could answer me that there's what the curriculum is for this classroom.
Right.
What's the curriculum? Every classroom has a curriculum. What is the curriculum for this classroom?
Right.
I don't have an answer. Nobody can give me an answer. There's so many more questions that went unanswered than I at least leaves me with more questions. Why don't you have enough answers for these simple questions? Most of the questions we're asking are very straightforward questions that you should have answers to. They're not trick questions.
No.
They're not trick questions at all. They're just very straightforward. Any parent would be asking these same questions. These are questions you should probably already have planned answers for.
Yeah. I'm sure you're not the first person that asked.
But clearly I am, because they don't know how to answer it.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like the first person that asked, because they don't know how to answer these questions.
Yeah, what it is they're probably scared to answer the questions because they don't want to say something wrong that you can use against them,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, they don't want to trip themselves up.
Yeah, they beat around the bush all the time. When I used to go to my son's meetings all the time, they could never answer a question. They would always just babble over their own words. And like one time they had, oh, we don't care about education. We care more about, the behavioral, because he goes to a behavioral
that's
school.
what they said. And I said,
And I was
okay,
like,
but you have to do something with them during the day.
he's 15 and he can't read. There's a problem. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
That's
come
because
on.
you're not doing anything. There is
Right.
no curriculum because you just sit
Right.
there and let them do anything, and then they're supposed to be social, but like you have to get them to interact and have activities so
Right.
they can know how to participate, not just sit in circle time. Boys can't sit down like that anyways because they like at that age that my son is at, but even at your son's age, he's a teenager, so he's busting with testosterone. He's not
Yeah.
gonna sit and be still. But the same thing at my son's age. They have enough testosterone as they're going through puberty. They cannot sit still.
Right.
And that's why kids at his age always get labeled like behavioral. They have ADHD because they're not meant to sit still. They have to be physically active in order to like release their energy so they can pay attention. That's why if you do therapy with children, they do play therapy. They play with them for a little while and then they have them come sit down and do an activity. And then they let them play for a little bit and then they bring them back and have them do an activity. Because the more energy you get out, you're able to focus a little bit better on the task that they're trying to have you do.
Yeah, my daughter
I'm
does
not a fucking
art therapy.
therapist, but I can tell you this shit, right? I'm not the one that went to school for all of this, but I can tell you this is all common knowledge. But yeah, when you can't implement it in the actual classroom, then what are you doing in the classroom?
Maybe they need you in the classroom.
I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to work with children. I will fight this fight for him, but I do not want to be like I chose to be a teacher. You know, I clearly didn't go that route for reasons. I work in construction. Like I don't do well with trying to be nice.
Which brings you to, if they didn't want to do the job either, they shouldn't be there, right?
Right.
Exactly. If you want to be rude to the people you work with, go work at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Go be a telemarketer or something.
Kids,
you know?
You're not gonna be loving and caring and nurturing because that's what
to some degree.
You know?
Everybody has a bad day, but don't take it out on the kids.
Oh, it's sad. It's a sad situation. And it's sad that your son had to go through it, you know? And now it's going to be in his head. It's going to be in his head for the rest of whenever.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to trigger him to put him back in that same headspace from being in the classroom like that. Yeah. I don't know what, and I don't really like to talk about it in front of him because I don't want him to think that he did anything wrong or put him back in that mind space where he's going to think about that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
But since he's been out of that program, like he's been out, that was his last day, was December 19th. He hasn't been back to that preschool class since, but his behavior has gotten a lot better as well. Like he's not as like disgruntled or seems to be like angry all the time. Not that he was really at home, but like he was like that when he would get to the daycare after school because he was already dysregulated from them talking to him that way, putting him in that state. So he would be, he would have some behavioral issues at the YMCA, and now he hasn't. He hasn't had any issues since he's left that preschool program.
Well, Jen, if you want to come back on again after you go through what you're going to go through and fight the battle for your son, you're more than welcome to come back and share the progress or whatever else is going on. Or if you need anything from us, you know how to get a hold of us. We're going to wrap this up. We appreciate you coming on. We're grateful that you allowed us to do this interview with you. And we really do appreciate it. And
yeah, hopefully there's some mothers out there that are going through the same, and they can relate to what you're going through, and get some pointers from what you're saying, because it seems like you put a lot of research into what you're going into so far, and it seems like you're ready to fight this battle.
Yeah, I don't have a choice. I have to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
But we're gonna wrap it up, guys. News Life and Beyond. You know how to get a hold of us. We're everywhere but TikTok now because they kicked us the hell out. So we got everything else but TikTok. So like I tell everybody all the time, every day you wake up is a good day. And we're out. Thank you.
Topics of discussion all depending on the mood of the person in the interview. As long as you keep it true, don't be lying for some views, cause we might just know you in real life and beyond. Lights, camera, it's on. News, life, and beyond.